Boom. Welcome in here to Wrestle Plunge Live, Week 8 of CWA Memphis here with me. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Please hit the old like ski if you would. That helps us out here at Wrestle Plunge. And we're going to be going into April 15th and April 22nd. And then we will have one more week. It looks like we missed the first week of May. It goes from April 29th to May 13th. But regardless, this week we're going April 15th and April 22nd. We're going to see what we get here. Got a lot of interesting things happening in Memphis at the moment. Jerry Lawler still the unified champion. We've got Jeff Jarrett, I think is the CWA champion, if I'm not mistaken. Mason Dixon is the tag team champions. Tracy Smothers and John Paul. You got the Undertaker, pre-Undertaker hanging out. Master of Pain is what he's going by. We got Primetime Brian Lee hanging out early in his career. Scott Steiner's hanging out. Rob Parker, Rob Fuller, before he became Rob Parker in WCW, the Stud Stable, which currently has Dutch Mantel working with Rob Fuller. A lot of cool stuff happening in CWA at the moment. I appreciate everyone for coming in. We're going to jump right in again. We're watching about 2 hours or so of wrestling here tonight on a Sunday. We do this every Sunday night at 6. About 6 Eastern. Tonight I was a little bit late, but 6 Eastern on a Sunday night. Keep in mind to come through for Wrestle Plunge. We're usually on Twitch and YouTube. I messed up tonight and I'm only on YouTube, but we're going to stick here on YouTube. That's where most of the traction is anyways. But let's get in here. Thanks everyone for coming in. I appreciate it. I did drop a video at 4:45 today. It's a video on the 90s Hall of Fames between WWF and WCW that ran before it got reestablished in 2004 by WWE, but I'll keep plugging that a little bit later also, but thanks everyone for coming in. Let's rock and roll. Let me get the sound set up here real quick.
Billy calls club and it throws it back to Ronnie Gossett.
Yep.
Ronnie Gossett
starting right in the middle here.
Has that Billy club tucked in his belt.
I think this is what happened last week.
Lawler down on the
Chase
mat.
Wolf, welcome in.
Now the referee comes back in. The Master of Pain.
Welcome in.
Out. 3. Lawler has just lost the world.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Taker won the unified title last week from Jerry Lawler on television. My mistake. That's right. We're going into a big show, and I'm imagining Jerry Lawler will be getting the title back. But that's right. Taker, Master of Pain, won the unified title last week.
Title for the Master of Pain.
What's up, Ken?
Let me show you something what I've had in store for Jerry Lawler for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take your business.
BGOG, welcome in. Chase Wolf, appreciate everyone for coming in tonight. Hit the old like ski, help us out here. Wrestle Plunge, share this out on some socials. Let the fine folks know.
Did he get in the ring with Lawler, win, lose, or draw? Well, he's done it. He stepped in there after Lawler had been smashed with that club. Come on, Jerry.
Yeah, Twitch messed up. I think I'm just live on YouTube tonight, sadly.
Look at that. Here he hits him again.
And I said screw it. I didn't feel like redoing it.
Look at this strut.
Good to have you in here.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Dave Brown.
They're in the tape room.
Place right now.
Serious.
The highlights of that with the King. Jerry, you know it's not a pleasant thing to see.
No, it's not. You know, Dave, I've watched it several times, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys had the correct tape and that the camera angles were all correct. As I think it's obvious to everybody that Ronnie Gossett maneuvered his way around that ring and got that billy club from the security guard,
causing all kinds of trouble
into the ring. That's what the guy used to knock me silly. And then now he's claiming that he is truly the world heavyweight champion. Well, let me tell you something, Ronnie Gossett, and you too, Master of Pain. In my eyes and in anybody's eyes that just watched that videotape, you are not a true champion. You don't deserve to have that championship belt. And now this Ronnie Gossett is claiming that, I want an immediate rematch. Ronnie Gossett is claiming that I've slid down the ladder of contenders and that I'm going to have to wrestle some other top contenders before I get another shot at that belt. Well, Ronnie Gossett, I'm going to get a shot at that belt, and in the process, I'm going to get a shot at you, you big fat slob. What I gave you last week is
every
just a
Sunday
mere
night.
sample. of
6
what you got
Eastern,
coming, I
folks.
promise you that, brother.
Jerry, of course, we're in the control room right now, but in the studio, Ronnie P. Gossett is standing by, and we've promised him that we will give him at least an opportunity to say something. He says he has a special announcement, and Jerry, I hope he'll explain that black eye he's got there, too.
Dave Brown, you idiot, this eye is none of your business, and I
He's
didn't
gonna start
authorize
managing
you to
Taker.
be in any booth. You're supposed to be over here behind this desk doing your 10-cent job instead of babysitting Jerry Lawler. Lawler, you get a good look at this belt because it's the last time you're going to see it. You're not getting a rematch. You're not even worthy of a title shot. Not only does Ronnie Gossett own the World Heavyweight Champion, the Master of Pain, but he now owns the Japanese Imperial Dynasty, and he has made an agreement to lease Action Jackson. Action
Done a lot of work
Jackson
for a guy
from
that
the
just came in to
stud stable,
commentate.
The chairman of the board, Robert Fuller. So, Lawler, you're not the only bum that wants a title shot. I've got offers coming in from all over the country. And if you get by Action Jackson, which I seriously doubt, that'll be just one step in your long staircase. You are nothing but a last place contender, a position that you should be very comfortable with.
Well, the word from Ronnie P. Gossett.
I guess now, what is he? He thinks he's going to be the manager. He's been fired or he's been thrown off the TV set. They're trying to do an announcer job. Now I guess he thinks he's going to start managing some wrestlers. Well, let me tell you something, Ronnie Gossett. You better take a good look at that.
Man of
belt
many
around your
trades,
shoulder,
Ronnie
because it's only going to
P.
be there a
Gossett.
short time. And if you get within arm's reach of me, brother, as I've said before, I'll stick this fist so far down that fat throat of yours they'll need a crane to pull it out, and that's a promise.
Got lots of action to come today. We'll be back.
Let's get some action here. Sammy, what's
For
up?
you today on Championship Wrestling.
That's
But
a good
right
name
now,
for
I
one,
want to kind of
Humpty Dumpty,
recap
honestly.
something else that happened a week ago on Championship Wrestling. Robert Fuller came out here. He was raving and screaming and claiming that Jeff Jarrett's dad stole the territory from his dad and stole the wrestling business in this area and all of that. Take a look at just some of that action that occurred last week. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is that stinking
This unstable stuff's been
con-man,
nothing but
lying,
gold.
good for nothing jerk. I'm saying Jerry Jarrett is a thief. That's what I'm saying. And that he conned my grandfather in a senile state of mind, and he wound up being part. Let me tell you the whole thing. You asked me, let me tell you. Then Jerry Jarrett become partners with what was my father. And then they had nothing but problems between them. The reason they had nothing but problems between them is because of Jerry Jarrett and all of his cronies that hung around him, and because he's the greatest liar that ever lived. He's the greatest con man
That damn
and cheat
liar.
and thief. And that's exactly what happened to my father. He got conned, cheated, lied to, and his territory stole away from him. It belongs to one man now, and that's supposedly Jerry Jarrett. And let me tell you something. If you think for 1 second, that punk Jeff Jarrett is going to get 1 inch of what belonged to my grandfather, or belonged to my father, or now belongs to me, you can take it and stuff it, baby, because you wanted to know it. Now you hear it. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. Jerry Jarrett, you lying, conniving, con man, stinking thief, your boy is going to pay the toll of a lifetime, baby, and that's death if it has to be.
Shit.
Well, you can imagine
He just
the
wished
reaction,
death
I
on
think,
him.
of
My
Jeff Jarrett
God.
after hearing all of this, all of a sudden coming through a television monitor. Jeff is standing there watching all of this, and he did come and respond to what Robert Fuller had said, and here's what Jeff had to say.
Now, you can sit out here and say whatever you want, call me a goof, call anybody you want, but you don't talk about my father, and you don't call him a thief. Now, Robert, you've publicly accused me, and I never have discussed business with my father because he'd probably slap my jaws off because that's his business, and
What's
I've
up,
got
JD?
my own business. But, Robert,
What's up, Zach?
I'm going to do something for the first time. I'm
No
going to go
quitter,
to my
guys.
dad and ask him the real story. And I'm going to come back here and not tell you...
Anybody new
No.
walking through
I'm
the
gonna
door
tell
every
you, Dave
Sunday
Brown,
night,
Tracy
6
Gunn, and the
Eastern.
people
We're doing CWA
the real
89.
truth.
Week 8 here.
All right,
Week
Jeff said he was going
8.
to check with his dad,
Excuse
find
me.
out what the whole situation was. Here right now is Jeff Jarrett. Jeff, I see you got a piece of paper in your hand there, which
Yeah, Dave, just like the people just saw. I told the people I was going to go, and here it is, Dave. You can read it, and the people can read it. Here. It's a contract. For consideration of $600,000. It lists the cities right here, and the 50-mile radius outside of the cities: Memphis, Louisville, Lexington, Kentucky, Evansville, Nashville, Jackson, Tennessee, and the rest of the list goes on and on. But the most important thing is here's my dad's signature, and here's Buddy Fuller's signature, and then there's 4 witnesses. Now, Robert, as far as I'm concerned, this case is closed. You can call it a threat, a promise, you can call it whatever you want. But don't ever get into my dad's business again, and don't ever, Robert, don't you ever call him a thief again.
All right, Jeff, thanks.
Jeff hadn't really captured his full potential as a promo yet.
And about something coming up called the Rage in the Cage. Here's what they had to say.
Yeah! 15-foot, baby, of wire mesh.
Here's a promo, brother.
That this is a man's dream.
My question is, will we get Dundee? Will we get a brother count this week? Dundee's brother count is
you can fight your way to get out
crazy.
Of it, and you're not never going to be able to do it. Now, this is a classic situation for us to be able to have 5 punks in. And when I talk about 5 punks, I'm talking about Jarrett with the $20,000 bounty on his head, baby. That's going to be inside this cage with all of my animals. And I'm going to see, Jarrett, that it's your last match that you're ever going to be involved in. Bring your Mason Dixon along. I hear they're going to be happy to be with you over there on that side, baby. Yeah. Brian Lee, Dutch, who else is coming in? You got nothing but a bunch of babies coming in that cage. And I'm going to guarantee you, baby, that each one of you are going to know what rage in a cage means. That means these handcuffs right here, 9 pairs. 9 pairs of these handcuffs are going to be distributed around that wire, baby. And what it means is when you lose or when you're beaten down and drug over to that cage and slapped in those handcuffs, that's where you're going to stay in the match. It's going to roll right on. That means we're going to take a Mason Dixon. We're going to put the handcuffs on him and wire him up here, baby, to this wire. Both
it might be Zach.
We're going to take
he's been gone for a couple of weeks now.
We're going to put him against this wire. We're going to chain everybody against this wire. And then Jeff Jarrett, baby, you're going to be the last man. And when we beat you and bloody your tail down and let you try to climb out of here, which you can't do, and make plumb a fool out of yourself, son, that's when we're going to chain up the last guy. And when everybody's changed, that's when the rage in the cage begins. Because, gentlemen, we get 5 minutes to beat on your chained up,
outlaw of college football. Welcome in here.
And I'm going to guarantee you something. There's one young man that can say goodbye to professional wrestling because there's going to be the dangest $20,000 party that ever happened after we get through raging in the cage, Daddy.
Galactic Wrestling Federation, welcome in
In
also.
the cage. More to say about that a little bit later on. Right now, in the ring.
Finally getting a match here. 10 minutes into the show.
Hall out of Memphis, Tennessee, new face on Championship Wrestling. And boy, I tell you what, I don't envy this young man because here comes, led by Ronnie P.
The new
Gossett
unified champion, the Master of Pain with Ronnie P. Gossett, a.k.a. The Undertaker.
Right the Master of Pain, last known address, Atlanta Federal Pen, 325 pounds. Jerry Calhoun is going to be the referee. And what are you doing over here at the table? You're not. You were. Let me tell you something. Sitting here at the table.
I've had a lot of fun watching the Taker squashes.
I went from a little 10-cent commentator like you to the most prestigious job in professional wrestling. I am now the manager of the World Heavyweight Champion. The World Heavyweight Champion.
Funny how that works.
Look at this machine.
We've had a good look at this machine, unfortunately. He's
the most awesome force in professional wrestling. I have got letters pouring in from Japan, from all other organizations, wanting a shot at the Master of Pain.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that would like a shot at the Master of Pain because he has the belt, and also for other things like interference.
He changes a little bit every week. Now he's wearing biker boots.
Speaking of you interfering,
I never interfere.
Tim Hall back on
the Master of Pain is a true champion. He's not like that moron Jerry Lawler.
Parker's so
he
good.
Doesn't hide
I still
from
call
anybody.
him Colonel Rob Parker,
cry.
but yeah,
he doesn't try
Robert
to pull
Fuller.
Tim Hall really being worked over
here
by the Master of Pain.
Devastating. Did you see that move, Dave Brown, or can you see that far?
I did see it. There's a count of 3.
Man, taking it easy. From some of the stuff we've seen from some of the other squashes from Taker. But remember, Lance Russell's in WCW at this point.
Who was making his first appearance on Championship Wrestling today in Tim Hall. He rolls out of the ring after being defeated in 1:17 seconds. 1:17. Well, as if we didn't have enough trouble with Gossett, the Master of Pain out here. Here comes Robert Fuller, Sylvia, Dutch Mantell, and Action Jackson.
I want to hear the real story. I want to ask you a couple of questions. You had that punk out here a minute ago with a phony document out here reading it. I want to ask you, how do you know it's not phony, first of all? How many prisoners in prison are guilty? Let me ask you that. How many of them come up there and say, I'm guilty, let me do my time? You tell me that, huh? Let me tell you something. If he's got that old man of his, and he's a mafia man, if you ask me, that he don't tell
I agree, Galactic.
His wife don't know nothing. That punk kid don't know nothing except what he tells him. And I guarantee you, son, he tells you lies just like he told my daddy. And just like he told my granddaddy. That one thing for sure, that this punk is not going to get what belongs to me. That's my inheritance that belongs to my dad. And I'm going to guarantee you, boy, that this Rage in the Cage is going to sink your tail and do it good. I'm guaranteeing you that 5 sets of handcuffs is going to be just what we need. 9 sets to put them boys in, and then we're going to have the key to open the handcuffs up on our boys. 5 minutes we're going to have. We're going to take Jarrett, and we're going to finish you, and I'm going to, last of all, get what's mine. Now I got my surprise ready for you. You see, 4 guys, baby.
Got a surprise. What do we got?
There needs to be 5 to have the Rage in the Cage. My last team member, I want to bring him out here right now. I want the Detroit Demolition and the new stable man that just signed the latest contract. Come on out here, baby. Let's all get a slap of hands with the baddest dude from the South right here, baby.
Detroit Demolition.
Detroit Demolition. What a name.
Let me tell you
Bullet Bob and Brad Armstrong were awesome
this
out
thing is
one.
going to be devastating. Get in here, Ronnie Gossett. We got one more surprise for him. Because we got surprise after surprise until we get this thing
get up
down
now,
to
son.
fine tune where I can get that boy out of my territory for good. Ronnie, spring it on him, baby. Spring it on him. Get a ghost up over here now. This is big news.
Oh, no.
Bring it in.
What is
Get that camera in here, stupid. This is my manager's license. And you know what this means? This means I can do anything I want to do. I can be anywhere I want to be. I can come to ringside. I can do anything. There's nothing I can't do.
That means
Bob
Mr.
Neal,
Gossett
welcome
here
in.
Can go right inside that Rage in the Cage.
Almost
Enough room to
definitely.
set your chair right down there in our corner. And if you don't know what that means over there, dummy,
Detroit
that
Demolition.
means it's going to be 5 against 6 of us. And that's the way
Very
it's gonna wind up.
specific.
With Gossett's brain, baby, and our athletic ability, I guarantee you one thing, that we are going to finish the problem of the Jarretts once and for all. And then I'm going to get back what belongs to me. Stable is going to own this whole darn thing before we're
And
done.
the Stable's looking pretty
That's
fire
exactly
before
right.
that,
You too,
honestly.
when we
So
get that done, Dave.
That's exactly right.
I always got to throw a little bit of
Gonna
what the
win all
fuck's
of this
happening
and
in
get all
there.
these people
Memphis.
handcuffed and all of that. We'll be back with more of Championship Wrestling action.
Coming in May, the Renegade Cyclone Stampede.
Thanks everyone for coming in. If you're unsubscribed, please subscribe. First of all, I've got a video that I just dropped today, tonight at 4:45 this evening. It's about the 90s Hall of Fame from WWF and WWE. And then every Sunday at 6 Eastern, we do this right here, CWA Memphis from 1989. We're going to finish this entire year. This is episode 8. And if you guys could hit the like, that'd help me out also. I appreciate it, guys.
The Dirty White Boys. The Mason-Dixon connection going against Fuller, Mantell, the Master Pain with Roddy P. Gossett is a CWA tag title match. Jeff Jarrett got the CWA title on the line against Dutch Mantell. Jerry Lawler will be in the
Daniel
ring
Bullock,
against
welcome in
Action
here.
Jackson. The big main event, Rage in the Cage. Lawler, Jarrett, Humongous, Smothers, Paul, Fuller, Mantell, the Master Pain. You're going to see Action Jackson, the Detroit Demolition, and Roddy P. Gossett. The fourth is going to be in that cage. Dutch Mantell had this to say about that CWA match.
I don't want everybody out there to listen up because, yes, you may worship me and you can start right now. And Jeff Jarrett, I'm talking right to you. You stole my belt. You stole my belt.
Oh,
but I
thanks
don't
a lot,
blame you
Outlaw.
because
Appreciate that.
thievery runs in your family, and that's a well-documented fact.
Yeah, definitely spread the word.
Well,
I got a lot of videos in the video
thieving's
section.
all over because I'm coming to reclaim what's rightfully mine. I'm coming to get the CWA championship.
Try to put out at least a video every couple of
and
weeks.
back onto me where it belongs. It's going to be a glorious night for me and the rest of the stable because, Jarrett, after I defeat you for my belt, we're all going to climb in a 15-foot cage with handcuffs all around. The rage in the cage is going to be a glorious night. I'm taking my belt. The stud stable's taking Lawler out, taking you out, Jarrett, taking out everybody that's in there.
A lot of action now. That's in Owensboro this Wednesday at the Big Sports Center. Don't forget that big main event, the Rage in the Cage match. And yes, Roddy P. Gossett IV will be in the cage this Wednesday in Owensboro.
Oh shit, we're gonna get a Detroit Demolition match
right there. Our first look at him on championship
against the
wrestling
Refrigerator.
goes against William the Freezer Thompson. Freezer
William the excuse me, the Freezer. My bad. William the Freezer Thompson. Excuse me.
You know, Dave Brown, everybody wanted Detroit Demolition, and to show you how much clout Robert
I like his look.
he
Galactic. But yeah, absolute 9-10 promo. Great promo. Dutch
Come
Mantel,
on
in my
now,
opinion.
get up. Don't give up that.
I like him as a
Get back in
worker,
there
though.
and
He's
face the
great.
Detroit Demolition.
I like his look also.
I want you to get a taste of exactly what it's going to be like.
But also
Rage
get
in
it,
the
I
cage,
mean,
Roosevelt. I want you to
he's
feel
not
like
necessarily
Jeff
the
Jarrett.
biggest guy.
I want you to feel like Brian Lee, the Mason Dixon, and that
Not the
big
best
goofy
looking guy
monster.
either.
That's exactly what they're going to feel like, Mr. Gossett.
But yeah, he's unique.
Because they ain't nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. They're all locked in a cage with handcuffs around. It's going to be like being in the joint.
Dues will be paid.
I like Dutch on Color and Smoky Mountains.
Thieves and crooks. You know that. Jarrett is the biggest crook. Oh, yeah.
Now, with this new competition here for Detroit Demolition, what's going to happen? The stud stable is going to become a dominant force, not only in the rest of the 1980s, but well into the 1990s. And by the time it's over, I've talked to Robert Fuller, and I believe the ultimate plan is to take over control and ownership of this corporation right here. And
Oh shit, this is Moondog Rex here. Is Detroit Demolition.
Can be done, and it will be done. We just got to do a little bit of discouraging along the way. And Detroit Demolition is one of our big guns, and we're counting on him.
Oh,
We got a lot of
absolutely,
confidence in him when we signed him. And I hope Jeff Jarrett and the Mason Dixon and everybody who's going to be involved in a Rage in the Cage is going to look and see what's going to be waiting them inside that locked door.
Great on color. Great on commentary.
They are numbered.
It's easy for you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
to sit out
basically,
here and
essentially,
talk about it,
Jamie.
but you're going to have to do it in that cage, and there's not going to be any running out of the cage. It's going to be locked while you're in there, too. This guy's big, all right. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, the guy he's wrestling is big, too.
What do you think that is he's wrestling? You think he's got a pygmy in that ring?
He's got a big guy, and William
Out of
Freezer
shape.
Thompson's
Look
got a
at him.
variation of the Japanese
Oh, dude,
sleeper
absolute
hold. He's got it.
sex freak.
He's got him
Who was?
asleep.
I was calling somebody a
Learned
sex
that in
freak last
Japan,
week.
and
Who was
nobody
it?
has ever gotten out of that hole.
Well, Freezer Thompson
I don't remember
did
who it
not
was.
get out of it without losing the match here. Yeah, come on, Dutch. Get him to break
You need
it.
a
Absolutely.
crane to come in here and get that freezer, whatever he is.
Mantell in there with the Detroit Demolition. They're going to try to get Thompson out of there. Get him waked up.
Yeah, that's right. I guess he had just left WBF. The Moondogs did rule. Did like the Moondogs.
Humongous and Brian Lee, all of them.
So yeah, look at Brian Lee here.
There goes Mr. Gossett. Thank you very much for getting rid of Ronnie P. Who's been out there running his mouth.
Is that right?
You know, Dave, it seems like every time, it seems like we're going to get them in a cage and it's going to be even. And the match is going to be 5-on-5. But now, Robert Fuller and his stud stable, seems like they've added another guy. Ronald Gossett is going to be inside the cage. Like I said, this time, me and Tracy and John and Brian and Humongous, we thought it was going to be 5-on-5.
I love watching Sid. Sid back there with the fucking Jason mask on.
Comes the king. King.
This is a very, very impressive looking group of wrestlers right here, and I just wanted to come
that's
out
right.
here and
make a little...
That's right, Daniel. Yeah, Sid was the sex freak last week. So, yeah, we got 2 fucking sex freaks on this show. In Demolition, Detroit. Excuse me. Detroit Demolition and Lord Humongous. Tag those boys up. My God.
Offer to anybody that has any interest in this. And before I do it, let me just reach back here because I've got, as I said, this is an impressive group of gentlemen. And right here I have in my wallet here another impressive group of gentlemen here. But they all look like Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I got in mind here. I just heard.
Yeah,
Robert
he started
Fuller
out the
say
year
that,
on these.
Ronnie Gossett
But sort of
was going
just.
to be inside
He lasted
the cage
maybe a couple of
in that
weeks.
match.
Yeah,
Well,
Adrian's
now,
stream
Ronnie
was
Gossett
alright.
is going to be inside the
He
cage.
did have very interesting music.
And they locked that steel door and that lock. Then there's no way that he's going to be able to get out until that match is over, right?
That's right.
And that match consists of you, Jeff, and Tracy, and John, and Humongous, and Brian Lee, right? You guys all, do you realize that you guys all have a chance to get your hands on that big, fat slob, Ronnie P. Gossett? Now, what I'm proposing right here is, let me just count, let's see, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to save some. How about $1,000 here? Tell you what I'll do. I'll give this $1,000 to anybody, any one of you guys that will step out of that match and let me take your place inside that cage with Ronnie P. Gossett. And Brian,
Bradley's like, I haven't eaten in weeks. You guys pay like shit.
I know how bad you want to get your hands on Ronnie Gossett, and I know how bad I want that money. So you got yourself a deal, King.
all right.
So he's saying that the payday, even kayfabe payday, is worse than that. Like, we already know it's shoot worse for someone like Brian Lee, especially in Memphis. But Jesus Christ.
There you go, right there. Good luck, buddy. There you go. Now, what we have just consummated here, Ronnie P. Gossett, is a little business transaction. Now, you come out here and you showed your business card, and you're trying to tell everybody now that you're a big high-class business wrestling manager? Well, you just saw a business transaction that is going to bring your little business to an end, brother, because now what's going to take place is when you have already agreed to step inside that cage, you're right, there is going to be a rage inside a cage then, because I don't care if you got
Sid
Robert
back
Fuller,
there.
I don't care if you got Dutch Mantel, I don't care if you got the Master
Would you
Pain,
mask up
I don't
Sid,
care if you
bro?
line up King Kong and Godzilla, brother, they're not going to be
Blue
able
Light?
to keep
Welcome in
me
here.
off of your big fat back. So let me tell you something, Gossett. When we get down there to that arena, they're going to lock the 5 of us inside that cage. And they're going to lock the 6 of you inside that cage. And you're going to be in there with us, Gossett. And I want you to take a look over there. Because when that man turns that key and puts that padlock on there, it's just you and me. And the way I see it, you big fat tub of, I'd love to say what you really are, brother. But this is a family show,
I
and
mean,
let
if
me
you
tell
would have
you
just
something.
finished the saying, it would have been fine.
You
Tub of
cost me the
lard.
World Heavyweight Championship.
Tub of shit? What
which
was
is
it?
worth a lot more than $1,000, and believe me, I'm going to take every penny of what I figure that's worth out of your big fat hide this week. So be ready, Gossett, because it is going to be a rage in a cage. And when it's all over, you're going to regret that you ever heard my name and that you ever set foot in that cage. Is that right, guys?
Makes it even more interesting, the rage in the cage right now. Look
Building the
at the
hell out of
Dixon
this
connection.
match.
Tracy Smothers and John Paul.
That's right, Zach, for sure. I'm going to be going through this match because they're going to use a copyrighted song. So let me get through this, not match, but this little vignette here of Tracy and John Paul, the Mason-Dixon connection. Current CWA Southern Tag Team Champions. Let me just clarify for anybody that's new here that wasn't aware. Earlier, just like 2 months ago, we're in April, Scott Steiner and Bastion Booger, who goes by Jed Grundy, was the tag team champions. Just to clarify. insanity that's going on in
I'm
Memphis.
Roger Webb with Championship Wrestling. We want to remind you that on Friday, April 21st, we're going to be in West Paducah, Kentucky at the Heath High School. It's sponsored by the Football Boosters.
Oh, dude, yeah. He's the one that showed off the shitty paycheck.
7th, we're going to be in
like
Castleton,
$15
Indiana,
or something.
this Wednesday in Owensboro.
I don't know if that was,
Sports
I think it was for a
Center.
week.
Great night
Something
of Championship
insane.
Wrestling. You're going to see Scott Steiner, the Dirty White Boys, a CWA tag title match between the Mason-Dixon connection, Fuller, the Master of Pain with Sylvia, and Roddy P. Gossett, the fourth. Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantell will be in the
They
ring.
do this like the plug. Boom, every Sunday night right here. Sunday, 6 Eastern, we're doing CWA, usually on Twitch and YouTube. I fucked up the Twitch part tonight, so we're just on YouTube. But on both, I've got a Wrestle Plunge Facebook. I've got a Wrestle Plunge X. The Facebook's actually pretty awesome. We just hit 16,000 followers over there. If you aren't following, please do so. Search Wrestle Plunge. And yeah, I just dropped a video tonight also. Every 2 to 3 weeks I drop a new video. Check it out.
Hear the music there. Boy, get ready. Here comes Lord Humongous.
Humongous squash, let's go.
Here, 2 against 1.
Oh, dude, Daniel, you're telling me. I picked a year that Lance leaves like basically immediately.
Oh, the Blue Knight and the Shadow run into
Blue
Lord
Knight
Humongous,
and Red Shadow.
And both of them just bounced off of him. Now they're going to try one from the front, one from the back.
God,
They run
Sid,
into him, and
look
again,
at
they
him.
don't even shake him. The Shadow up in the air.
Dude, he would be in
slammed,
WCW
and the Blue
before the
Knight
year's
comes running
end.
out. He's slammed.
Spent not a lot of time here in
weighing in
Memphis.
at about 304, 305 pounds. And now the Shadow and the Blue Knight put together a plan.
Dude, Dirty
Well,
White Boy
what
was
is it they
fun.
say about the best laid
Really
plans? Didn't work out too well, huh? Humongous snaps
we were
him
gonna get
up
the power
over the
bomb.
shoulder. Takes him over to the side of the
Simi,
ring.
you're right.
Spins him over. Look at this.
Yeah, he was just tossing dudes. When he first showed up in WCW, he would do that a
Throwing him
lot.
around the ring like
I
a
like the
stuffed
gimmick
animal.
with the stretcher.
Headbutt. There's a cover on both
Just a
of them.
headbutt.
1, 2.
All right, that was a weak one. Yeah, last week's was a little bit more
Well, I
more
tell you
fun.
what,
They took it easy on these fellas.
the Shadow and the Blue Knight tried just about everything they could think of, and they did not ever even shake Lord Humongous, who easily wins the match and leaves here with a victory in hand. Here, let's take a look
That's
right now
hilarious,
at none other than Jeff Jarrett.
Good morning. It's 7 o'clock, straight up and down. Time to get up and get going. Rock and roll time. Born to be
Okay,
my
I love
baby. You
college.
know.
Got to get through this. Holy shit. I like to get through these just in case.
Interview with Jeff. Good morning. Everybody's cruising to work this morning. We got some
You're
good
gonna get
news
me for a
for you.
copyrighted
The
song or some
long-awaited
bullshit.
interview with Jeff Jarrett's coming up today, so hang on. It's coming up in just a few seconds. He's the hot new sensation, just like In Excess.
Oh my god, they're doing it again instantly. They tricked me.
An area Memphis against finally showtime.
All right, well, Ryan, I just want to thank you for letting me come up here to
Still got it in the
FM Wonder,
background.
and I'll tell you one thing, things couldn't be better.
Oh my god. Alright, let's get to the match at least. Oh my god, it's still happening with his interest music. They're just like, fuck copyright, you know, and I agree, whatever, but
CWA belt, and now no more than
YouTube
4
is gonna
weeks
be
ago,
mad
he
about
stole the CWA belt from me right here on television. But pretty soon, very shortly, the next time we step into the arena, that belt
hopefully,
is going to come back. It's right
I usually
on
get through it. That time I did.
Dutch Mantell, I'm going to take the CWA champ. It's going to be a glorious night for
Sure
me.
would've cut it
the
out,
stud stable when it comes time, championship
Yeah,
time
okay.
for me. And the rage in the cage. And I'm just looking. I'm going to whoop that Jeff Jarrett like the dog that he is.
Let me
And
take
then we're going to
this
get him
belt.
in the cage and lock a door. And he's going to feel like the criminal that he is, because he's nothing more than a criminal walking the street. He could be a mass murderer. He could be any kind of things. But I don't believe in capital punishment. I believe if somebody commits murder or rape,
getting
or
a little
something
jobber
like that,
match
they shouldn't be
here.
executed. They should be strapped in a chair and tied down and made to watch tapes and interviews of Jeff Jarrett 48 hours
Big back
straight
body drop.
and put a little cyanide pill close to them, and then when they've had enough, which will only take about 20 or 30 minutes, they'll take that pill and take themselves out. And it'll save the state a lot of money.
2 and
Easy
3.
pickings for Jeff
has
Jarrett
just
this week.
defeated Rough Boss Winner. Tried to jump in there to
Hey, that was one of the what, rough and ready guys?
Look at that. Look what he did. He's taking advantage of a man who's no more than managing his own property.
Wait a minute. He jumped in there after Jeff. He's the one that
keep Dutch on commentary.
Nailed him for it.
Getting a treat this week.
Winner, boy, he felt that one, let me tell you.
I guess you liked that a whole lot, didn't you, Dave?
Well, I tell you what, I did like it because I'm sick and tired of seeing people interfere, jumping in on matches like Boss Winter just tried to do, and Jeff just said, hey, don't do that.
Well, we're going to correct that problem and rage in the cage. Nobody can get out.
You're right.
Nobody can get in.
You're right. It's going to be a locked-in situation.
We're going to watch your mouth, Dave.
We're going to be back here. We've got six-man tag team action coming up. Don't you go away.
It's a six-man going to be.
The Renegade Cyclone Stampede.
I bought cars all over the United States.
I can.
Keith Eric in the ring right now with a grappler and Ready of the team of Rough and Ready. And here comes
Rough and Ready. One's rough, one's ready. That's amazing. Brian Lee's like, shit, I just made $1,000. Do I even need to wrestle? I'm rich as hell in Memphis, baby.
Right here. Keith Eric.
It's all right. Brian Lee teaming up with John Paul and Tracy Smothers. Tracy Smothers is really fun to watch. And John Paul might kill a man. I can't get over that. He's been pretty safe since that one spot that I posted on my socials, but he literally tried to kill a man one week.
Belts and all of that passed out of the ring. Looks like Keith Eric's going to be starting for his team. And across the way, it will be whom?
And Keith Eric, he's pretty legit. I like watching him.
Brian Lee will be starting. So Brian Lee goes against Keith Eric. Mason Dixon connection over in the corner, trying to get the crowd going on their side. They're on their side to begin with. Boy, they were on their side quickly when Keith Eric came out, started insulting everybody before he even got up on the ring apron. Eric giving away lots of height, lots of weight.
I like Brian Lee,
Brian Lee.
I liked him in Smoky Mountain, another Smoky Mountain reference.
Yeah, got it now, says Keith Eric. Whoop. Don't have him anymore, Keith. Brian Lee. Picks him up.
Who remembers him in early TNA?
Ready jumps in there now. He's body slammed. The grappler started in, thought better of it, so now they're all out of the ring down here on the floor. Brian Lee. Pretty well cleaned house with that one. We're a little over a minute into the action. This is, by the way, an expiration of time match. We'll have
yeah, you could definitely say that, Jamie.
Whatever we have time for.
And this is my third stream today, Simi. Counting those publicly buzzed
Threw
streams.
that right fist to the midsection a couple of times. Brian Lee just stepped over it.
Sunday's one of the days that I can really kind of get some streams in between both my channels.
The knee of John Paul is the place where the head of Reddy ended up. Now John Paul in there. Reddy raked him across the eyes. Slowed him up a bit. He made the tag. Keith Eric tagged back in. And John Paul wasted no time in grabbing the left
John Paul's winning me over, though. I'll talk a lot of shit
mat.
about him, but...
Eric going for the eyes. John Paul reverses him into the turnbuckles and rolls him with the arm coming off of there. Down to the mat he goes. Keith Eric, victim of the drop kick now.
I like Keith Eric, man. Every time I've seen Keith Eric, he's really just bumping and feeding. You know, he's just a jobber, but he had a vibe about him. I feel like he could have done something, but never really got out of Memphis.
And Brian Lee when he bailed out of the ring. Didn't take long for him to head back in the direction of his partners, Reddy and the grappler.
Yeah, definitely not the best spot Galactic to be in at that point in 1994. But I mean, I don't know.
Started in a couple of minutes ago.
He got to do a little bit more in his career, but
backed out.
Definitely not the best.
Whoa, grappler runs right into a drop kick put on by Tracy Smothers as he was coming over the ropes after the tag by John Paul. Tracy sets up, nailed him with the arm. Tracy Smothers. Picks him up with an arm bar over to the corner. Makes the tag on Brian Lee. Tracy backs in the corner. Says, here, he's all yours. Roll him up. 1. Got a count of 1 is all he could hold him for. Shoulders were down for the 1 count. But
I feel like Brian Lee got taller than he is
by
here.
Brian Lee, and the grappler
right?
hits
like,
the mat. He was trying to hold onto the ropes to avoid it, but didn't work out too well for him.
Like he's
Brian
tall, but
anyway.
he's pretty average also.
Later
on, I feel like he was fucking, I mean,
Brian Lee. John Paul stays in
the
there.
fake Undertaker. Hey,
Hey,
Daniel, I'm hoping we can get a brother count. My God. As soon as I started the brother count, Dundee disappeared on us, the son of a bitch. So we'll see. Somebody in the chat said this might have been when he went to Georgia for a brief stint, which I could check out his cage match. It should actually tell us, but...
Grappler off the rope. Tracy Smothers now picking him up.
Yeah, he was chains in
Grappler
DOA.
quickly over to the corner. Boy, he was working his way over there as fast as he could go with Tracy hanging on to him. Got the tag.
Do you remember him with Slash in early TNA, though? Like when they were doing the weekly pay-per-views. That was actually pretty good.
Tracy Smothers, championship wrestling action. Dave Brown here at ringside.
Yeah, maybe I'm crazy, Zach.
If you joined us late today, you have missed a lot of action. Master of Pain, a winner in his match. New face, the Detroit Demolition, brought in by the Stud Stable and Robert Fuller. Lord Humongous won a handicap match today, and Jeff Jarrett looking mighty good winning his match.
Tavster, welcome in here. And wow, I didn't know that. Dark match in WWF.
You can figure he's been pulling hair.
When he was Texas Tornado.
Into the ropes goes Keith Eric. He goes by a couple of times. Tracy rolls him down. Does
They're
not
having
go
a
for
good little
cover.
match here,
What,
though.
we're getting backed
This
up
isn't
on
a full-on
commercial breaks
squash,
here.
but
We're going to keep the tape
still pretty
rolling
dominant.
as Tracy tags out. We'll take a commercial break, and then we'll be back with you.
Total non-stop action.
Hello, everyone. I'm Roger Webb with Championship Wrestling.
Get back to
we
the
want to remind
action.
you that
Come
on Friday,
on.
April 21st, we're going to be in West Paducah,
Do
Kentucky.
not forget, every
at Heath High School,
Sunday
sponsored
at
by
6
the Football
Eastern,
Booth.
right
You save
here,
$1 on
CWA
advance tickets to the high
Live.
school. Then
Weekly,
on Sunday, May 7th, we're
1989
going to be
with
in
me.
Pendleton, Indiana.
As we
Then
continue
in
down the
Owensboro,
road, next
this
week
Wednesday
we'll
at the
be
Sports
ending
Center. What a
April and
great
joining
night of
May.
action. We've got a
As we
CWA
get
tag
through
title
the
match,
15th
a
and
CWA title match, and a big
whatever's
rage in the
after this
cage
one,
match.
20-something.
And you're going to see Ronnie P. Gossett the fourth. He's going to...
Let me get something straight right away, that I owe you an apology, and I want to give it to you right now, because I had no idea that Jerry Lawler would come and try to add himself into the match. I should have known that he'd get things changed if he wanted them changed. I owe you an apology. It's very few times I have to do this, but please accept it, Ronnie. Come on.
Robert, you did me the favor of my life. You let me have a shot at Jerry Lawler. I am fired up. I'm going to hit him high. I'm going to hit him low. I'm going to put the ham hock down his throat, because he can't compete with Ronnie Gossett. Bam!
I love it, baby. Let me tell you something, boys, and Lawler especially, and that Jarrett. Don't forget it, Jarrett. $20,000 is on your head, and I'm not going to quit till my territory belongs to me again, and you're done for and done for good. Jerry Lawler, you've been wanting it, baby. What we going to do is give it to you. The Ronnie Gossett here is going to wait till we get the handcuffs on you, then we going to turn him loose on you. How about big man? Yeah. You raise in the cage till that stinking Jerry Lawler beat you, baby. No, he can't beat me, baby. What in a million years could he do it? That this is one night in Owensboro.
Yeah, Gossett's rough.
Direction,
he said a couple of things that's made me chuckle, but ultimately he's pretty rough.
Gossett, the best shape he's ever been in all of his life.
Every day.
He's going to take it to the ballpark with Jerry Lawler. And Lawler, you're not going to do nothing about it, because in Rage in the Cage, Daddy, we're going to handcuff you. You're going to be stuck there. Jarrett Lawler, you're finished.
Welcome back to Championship Wrestling. The match continues, and a 2 count right there on Keith.
This might be our main event.
I will tell you, you have not missed any significant turn of events or anything that's occurred here. It's been good action continuing.
Still got one more match to go here tonight, folks. Or, excuse me, one more show.
Boss Winter out here screaming and yelling, complaining about Jeff Jarrett hitting him in the head. He didn't mention the fact he was trying to interfere in the match. Boss Winter is in the corner because Reddy.
Is it Rough or Reddy? Oh, it's Reddy.
One of his team members is involved in the match right now with John Paul. John Paul takes him over to the corner and makes the tag on Tracy Smothers. Now Tracy makes the tag on Brian Lee. Power slam by Brian Lee, and down to the mat is Reddy. Not for long, though. Brian picked him up, picked him straight up in the air, and just
that was powerful.
Threw him down on the mat. Mason-Dixon connection, and Tracy Smothers and John Paul looking mighty good with Brian Lee in their corner. They're tagging out. Good tag team work by that team over
Lifting
there.
the guys up like that's a heel-type move.
Tag team action been going on now for about 8 minutes in this fall. Still no winner.
Punishing these guys.
Reddy fired into the ropes. John Paul steps out, leaves him for Brian Lee. Brian Lee with a lower leg. 7th inning stretch, says Boss Winter. Tag made. Here comes Tracy Smothers. Tracy up on the ropes. Here he comes.
Oh, wow, Daniel. Nice. That was 3. Well, that was 2.5.
He just dumped Reddy over his back down to the mat. Does not go for the pin, though, at this point.
Again. He's rough. He looks like a bulldog, an old bulldog.
The crowd down. Take the crowd out of the match is what he wants to do. Doesn't work, boss. Tracy sits down on the upper arm. And Reddy is really finding himself in trouble here. There's a tag. Tracy Smothers takes his feet out from under him. John Paul sits down with a leg across the back of the neck. Wraps up the left arm, puts a bar on it. 9 minutes.
They're punishing Reddy here.
Seconds gone in this first ball of action here. It's been a good one. Here's Tracy Smothers back.
He says it had no offense at all.
Reddy back up on his feet.
There we go. All right, I'll take it.
Tracy Smothers, and that slowed him down. That's the first real move of offense that we've seen from the team of Reddy, Keith Eric, and the Grappler in quite some time. It had been all Mason-Dixon connection and Brian Lee for several minutes. They've been able to take control of the match, but not get a pin just yet. Keith Eric backing Tracy into the corner. All 3 of them work, 4 of them. Boss Winter helping hold him in there.
Have we even seen the masked dude in the blue and black?
Fights his way out of the corner. Keith Eric going to work on the left arm. Tracy Smothers.
That's hilarious, Zach. Holy shit.
Reversing it on him. Reverse. Look at Tracy. Kicking back, though. Tracy, Keith Eric glaring at each other across the ring. And Keith Eric comes over to the corner, and I don't know what he said, but he's complaining about something. I noticed that bandage across the forehead of Tracy Smothers. Tracy showing some of the scars of a recent stud stable encounter.
Just got him in some kind of weird choke. What the hell was that?
Didn't get a real good
Was it a small package? I don't think it was. That was fucking weird.
There's Reddy.
I ain't giving it shit.
John Paul power slammed him.
This has been an absolute ass whooping for two gentlemen. I don't think the one dude's even been in the match.
Brian Lee with a
and really mainly for this Reddy fella. Yeah, no, Keith Eric is. And Keith Eric, you could tell, had a little something. I don't know if you ever got to really, truly grow into it or establish it, but he had a good vibe.
Using the forearm. Boss Winter saying,
dude, I swear that in the blue with the mask has not been in there once.
Keith Eric back in there. Eric with a fist. He's going for the eyes again, then a fist to the midsection. Reversal by Brian Lee. He dumps Eric over his back, over to the corner.
What are we going to do here? Oh, here we go.
Over the ropes. The grappler coming in after
okay.
the tag.
All right. I see why he hasn't been in.
After all of them. He's got the grappler in there.
Dude, one move, he's going to be done, right?
Tracy.
Oh, nailed him with that side kick, that super kick.
He got him.
Okay, we're going to give it to him. We know he was in their corner, and Keith Eric was right there. Jeez, they beat the piss out of them boys.
Over here on the ring apron. Been a bad day for
Son of a bitch.
for his team so far as they are down. One fall, second fall action. If we'll check our time and be back with you in just a moment.
Coming in May, the Renegade Cyclone Stampede.
Pete Gossett that he's got a manager's license and he's going to be in the cage when the rage in the cage happens. That should be interesting.
I know he isn't there for very long. I did look up his cage match, and he's not there for very long at all.
So the King will have
maybe a year and a half.
Back at Ronnie P. Gossett for the interference in which the Master of Pain ended up taking the belt away from Jerry the King Lawler. We're going to have more action for you right here, of course, next week on CWA Championship Wrestling.
Okay, we're going to go into the next week here. Let me set up the date.
The announcers on this program are
April 22nd, 1989 is the year, or excuse me, the date that we're going into here. Boom, there we are, the second episode of the night. Again, every Sunday night, we're doing it. Sundays at 6 Eastern, CWA, 2 episodes. We're making our way through 1989. Thanks, everyone, for coming in here. Appreciate it. Immediately after this, please check out a new video that I just dropped, and check out the video section in general. I have lots of content in there that should keep you busy for quite a while, but the new video is on the 90s Hall of Fames between WWF and WCW. Please give it a check. And thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. If you're finding this after the fact, leave a comment. Let me know about it. And don't forget to hit the like. YouTube likes to be tickled like that. I'll make the rules.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave.
Who is this guy?
We're set to go with another day of
What is happening?
Championship Wrestling, being joined today by a special guest co-host, DJ GK, world-famous George Klein, famous disc jockey from around Memphis, Tennessee area. George, I think everybody in the world knows who you are. We're glad to have you with us today to guest commentate. Feel free to make any comments. You'll notice some good things going on. You'll notice some bad things going on here today, too. But jump right in there when you want.
Dave, it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
All right, very good. Today, we've got
can't even Google
highlights
this.
of a rage in the cage. We'll be going to the
right.
Memphis Mid-South Coliseum to take a look at that. We'll also be going to the Nashville Sports Arena to take a look at a match which was a most unfortunate one for Tracy Smothers. And we'll also have the King here, and the World Unified Heavyweight Champion will be in action here today, too. It's all coming up. George and I will be back. You stay with us. Guest commentator here today, George Klein, along ringside. Here comes the King right here. Set for his match. He steps up on the ring. Jerry Calhoun, the referee, is in there right now. George, how about the official introduction?
What we got here? Jerry Lawler opening up the show
from Memphis, Tennessee,
against Keith Eric, the workhorse from the last show. Dude, I like Keith Eric, honestly. He's about to get absolutely squashed by Jerry Lawler, but
at 234 pounds, the King, Jerry Lawler.
I feel like dude could have done something.
This one's going to be a one-fall, 10-minute time limit match. The King with the crown handed out of the ring to security, and now the cape coming off. The referee says, let's go, and here we go. Oh, George, I see a problem developing over here. Ronnie P. Gossett is out. With the Master of Pain, David Elder, and the Grappler standing over in a corner.
I see him, Dave.
Yeah, the King has just seen him, too.
Yeah,
that's good.
At him. They are not allowed in this area at this time.
No, they should not be here. Referee Jerry Calhoun is just telling them they better stay back and stay away from ringside. Well, look at Gossett. Gossett is just...
They're inching closer to the ring, Dave.
Inching toward... They're out of camera range, but they're just inching toward the ring up there. Lawler, big right hand, puts Keith Eric down. Eric up complaining. He got hit by a fist, and he did. All right, there you see him, right there. Ronnie.
I like him, man.
Master of Pain back there with Elder and the Grappler.
Yeah, I do 2 episodes every Sunday night, Ken.
What do you want, Gossett, says Lawler.
Jerry, I noticed, keeps out of the corner of his eye watching Ronnie and the guys over the corner, Dave. He's stepping outside the ring now.
Jarrett. Jerry's coming over this way. Yeah, King.
Let me say one thing, Dave. Hey,
Let me just say one thing. Keith Eric's got 2 first names, and he's going to be the future of this business.
If you're out here with your whole entourage there, if you think that you're trying to intimidate me while I wrestle that match, you're not going to get the job done, Fatso. If you want to come out here and get involved in my match, then that's another story. Because I feel real good this morning, and I can take care of this jerk and all 3 of those jerks and you too. So if you want to, yeah, come on, big boy. Come on right now. Let's get up in the ring. We'll settle this all right now. That makes it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Gossett counts for about 4. That'd be 8 against 1. I like those odds. So come on, Gossett, if you got any guts, get in the ring.
That DJ's out there like, what's going on?
I don't at this time see Mr. Gossett making any moves toward the ring. I think that's what he's out
Keith
here.
Eric's like, I'm that little of a threat to you that you feel like you can just cut promos outside the match during the match.
Figure out what your motive would be, Dave, since this is the opening match.
Poor guy. Respect Keith Eric is what I say.
Well, they're not doing it till later today. Gossett, of course, has been known for inserting himself into the action where he has no business, so that bears watching very closely. Lawler, as said, is not intimidated. He's just right to work on Keith Eric. Some round behind, hangs him up in the air there. Drops him across the back. Covers the Lawler. Lawler's got a 1, a 2.
Lawler's working on new finishes. What the fuck was that?
Hangs him up in the air there.
He's doing some lucha shit out here. Jesus Christ, I've never seen Lawler do that move in my life. What is he doing? He's like, brother, tonight I'm going to work on a new finish. You know, the pile driver's getting a little old. I think I'm going to work on this move I saw some lucha mask guy do in Mexico. The fuck?
Out of the mat they go. Lawler gets both of them out. And here comes the Master of Pain. The unified world champion is in there. Lawler slams his head into the turnbuckle. Gossett steps in, and he nails Gossett, and then Eric again. Really racking up, Dave.
Keith Eric's like, please put me in a stable. Do something with me. Good fucking God.
That's the man that took the belt off of Jerry Lawler, thanks to Ronnie Gossett. And there they go. The king with a chair. Wow. And he has just cleaned house here.
Well, he sure did, Dave. Jerry was ready for that.
He was indeed. Master of Pain or no Master of Pain, he nailed him a couple of times into the turnbuckles. Ronnie Gossett got smacked too, and at that point he decided, hey, time for me to get out of here, and that's exactly what he did. I want to take just a moment to call out John Paul. For those wrestling fans who have not heard, a match occurred in the Nashville Sports Arena in which John's partner, Tracy Smothers, sustained an injury. John,
what
welcome.
The hell?
Half
Tracy
the
hurt
CWA
shoe?
Tag Team Champions, Mason-Dixon connection, but Tracy is not here because of that injury.
That's right. I'd like to put that aside just for a minute to talk to, address something to Mr. Brian Lee. Last Saturday, he comes out here and takes $1,000 from Jerry Lawler to get Lawler into that match on Monday night. Well, Saturday night, my partner was injured by the stud stable. He was pile-drived on a chair, and that brought Brian Lee back into the ring on Monday night. I'd like to ask Brian, was it worth the $20,000 that you received, that you sold out your friends?
So this showed Brian Lee turned heel,
I
it
don't
looks
think
like.
it was, because it wouldn't be for me. I'd like to ask you another question, Brian. After all those times that we sat there in that car and you told me I was your friend, and Jesus knows how many other people you told you were their friend, is it worth it? And I'd like to just show the people this video of what happened to Tracy.
Let's do that, John. Now, we're not able to show you the whole match. It was a rather brutal
We need an
match.
update. We just went out of last week. All these guys were buddies.
Tracy Smothers. Again, this is from the Nashville Sports Arena.
Brian Lee has then turned to heel.
They smashed Tracy down. There's Lord Humongous coming in. And there's, oh, look at that. There's Tracy. As Jeff Jarrett is trying to help him out there, too. It was quite a scene. Of course, Tracy is out of action as a result of it.
That's right. I had to sit there and watch that. They tied me into the ropes. And the stud stable, let me tell you something, Brian Lee. If you ever show your face with them, you're going to add on to that injury list with Tracy Smothers. And I'm going to tell you something, stud stable. I'm going to come after you like a bullet out of a gun and cut you down like a Thatcher in a field, brothers.
John Paul of the Mason-Dixon.
Got a couple of brothers there from John Paul. I might try to need to do a recount on John Paul promos, because holy shit, Dundee's not coming through for us. As soon as I made the gimmick.
Coming in May, one of wrestling's most challenging matches, the Renegade.
So I'm going to try Brian Lee as a heel.
Hello, everyone. I'm Roger Webb with Championship Wrestling with a reminder that on Sunday, May 7th, we're going to be in Kennelton, Indiana. Then coming to Owensboro, Kentucky on Wednesday, April 26th at the Owensboro Sports
quick
Center.
promo every Sunday night,
Wrestling
6 Eastern, right here, CWA 1989. Working our way through it. Keep on coming through. Let's make it a thing, guys. Again, I drop videos pretty regularly every 2 to 3 weeks. I just dropped one today. 90s Hall of Fame WCW WWF video. I'm going to try to get you guys there after the stream.
You're not even worthy of a title shot.
Show it some
and
love.
if you think you're going to take that title from the
lots of videos in the video section to check out, though. The content's pretty vast.
I'm going to run this big ham hock right down your throat. I'm going to float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And when I take care of you, you're going to look up and say, Mr. Gossett, sir, please, no more. Tell him, stud.
Your class, baby. Your class all the way. Anytime that I can help you, baby, I'll be behind you all the way down the line. This is a businessman right here. This is a man you want to listen to when he talks, because when he says it, it gets done. And I sure wouldn't give 10 cents for your tail, Lord Humongous, because I don't think you're going to win a title.
I'm just going to say
it. Slap your jaws like
Jimmy Golden, come back.
That's when we're going to
they had a falling out here.
That's when things are going to get tough in Owensboro, Daddy. That's when you bring your partner out there, baby. Bring your John Paul.
Jamie Marshall, Jamie Dundee. Oh, excuse me, no. Bill Dundee. Jamie Dundee's his son. Bill Dundee had so many fucking brothers. I think we're up to 7 in one of the promos that I counted since I started the brother count. I had like 2 good weeks of brother counts, and then he disappeared on us. Once he returns, I bet the brothers are going to be through the roof.
And you can bet on it, Buster.
In the ring over on the right there, none other than Mr. Jed Grundy. The referee is there, too, and we are just about set to
Jed Grundy's still hanging out. Future Norman the Lunatic and Bastion Booger. So we're going to get a Moondog Rex here, a.k.a. Detroit Demolition, a.k.a. Smash, Demolition Smash, a.k.a. Sex Freak.
How about the official introductions for this one? Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 315 pounds, Detroit Demolition against
Bastion Booger versus Moondog Rex.
From Saltcombe, Kentucky, 1 fall, 10 minutes. Detroit Demolition wasting no time, grabbing Jed Grundy, but Jed hung on to the ropes.
They really do put Grundy over, though. So.
And Detroit, talking about Demolition, a head-on collision here between Jed Grundy and Detroit Demolition is on the mat.
Okay. All right.
Well, Jed, he took a tough blow there, Dave.
This is a very odd match.
Demolition, a veteran. And you saw what a veteran can do right there. Go to the...
Jerry warns him he's on the ropes there.
Now Detroit Demolition, he raked him across the eyes. Biting. Detroit Demolition violating just about every rule there is.
Was he biting his ear there?
Yeah, I think he was. Wow.
Guy dressed it like that? You think he's going to be obeying the rules?
Jerry Calhoun trying to get him apart and get him off the ropes. Detroit Demolition with a flip.
I'll tell you with that Detroit Demolition, he's a pretty big guy himself. They wing in at 315.
Certainly is.
Here's Grundy.
Reverse neck breaker. Boy, that's tough to do with a guy the size of Grundy. Here's one. Oh, he can't make it stick for a 3 count. Grundy flipped him off at the count of 1. I really thought Detroit Demolition probably had it pretty well wrapped up there.
Yeah, pretty much, Daniel.
Lines him now, but Grundy again.
He did, Jamie. Even before they tried him out like that at first. Grundy. Like
Proven he can
Ferguson
battle with this big guy.
something.
Yeah. Grundy's hanging in there.
I forget the whole gimmick, but yeah, Ferguson something. And then they did Bash Your
Grundy with a
Move, if I
right
remember
fist.
correctly.
Detroit Demolition.
Demolition looked like he wanted to end it early, but I don't think he is going to end it early. Grundy's hanging in there.
There's a big right hand from Detroit Demolition. That one staggered Jed. He's
You
back
call
on
the chick
rope
on the
now.
floor Hoochie? The trailer Hoochie?
Jed Grundy.
That's a good name.
Grundy.
This has been a horrible match, but like I was interested to see who they're going to put over, and it's kind of been even. And I'm still unsure. I bet it ends in some kind of DQ.
That's right.
Because neither one. I mean, they're trying to build Grundy. If anybody's going to take the. Oh, okay, they're going to do it with him getting hit with the stick. Still keep him strong because he got hit with the stick to lose, I guess. Ferguson, Fryer, Daniel. With the trivia, hell yeah.
What was going on in the ring. Detroit Demolition, round behind Jed Grundy. We're 2.5 minutes into the action here. 10 minutes.
$1 million dream, Cobra Clutch.
Referee checking. So he got the sleeper hold on
And
it.
Grundy's
Yeah,
out with assistance from the kendo
Japanese
stick.
Sleeper hold that, Detroit
And the
Demolition
Sex Freak
uses. 2 minutes,
wins,
50 seconds. Detroit Demolition
a.k.a.
gets the hand
Detroit
raised.
Demolition,
Jed
a.k.a.
Grundy put up
Detroit
quite a battle
Demolition
and was doing well
Smash,
until
a.k.a.
that
Moondog
stick
Rex.
killed. He did. All right, here comes
This guy
Robert
that's next to
Fuller.
Dave, I don't even think I've been hearing him on commentary. He's just sort of like, what's
Did he
going
take care
on?
of that big hog or not? It's hog killing time in Tennessee.
Call him a hog!
Tennessee.
All right, I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back. Be right back, fellas. Thanks everyone for hanging out.
CWA, my beloved area here that belonged to my grandfather that now belongs to me. I want to get it cleared up right off the front that Jeff Jarrett came out here with a phony contract a couple of weeks ago talking about my beloved Tennessee and how it belonged to him. CWA belonged to his father. I'm going to tell you, next week I got my opportunity to straighten out every bit of it, baby, because I'm going to the horse's mouth. I'm going to introduce you to a man that is going to, without a doubt, clear this problem up from start to finish. These fans out here and every place CWA wrestling goes on are going to know exactly who owns it, Daddy, and I'm the one that owns it, and I'm going to be proving it. My stable is taking over this area. That's the end of the story.
Well, Robert, I tell you, we saw the documents that Jeff Jarrett had, and they were most convincing to me. Don't want to talk about that right now anyway. I want to talk about the rage in the cage at the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum. Something happened. Brian Lee. Now, we thought Brian Lee was out of the match altogether. Jerry Lawler gave him $1,000 so that Jerry could take his place. Then when Tracy got hurt, as you saw in Nashville, who gets back into the match but Brian Lee?
You know what? My grandfather, now I speak of my grandfather, the same man that owns this area that I'm inheriting this area from. My grandfather used to have a saying. He said, you want to find out how smart a man is? Look inside his wallet. Check out his money. Will you look inside Brian Lee's wallet, Daddy? Check out his money. You're going to find $1,000 of Jerry Lawler's right there because he's smart enough to know how to swindle a man. And then when it comes down to making a deal, Brian Lee knows how to make a good deal. And rather than me stand here and tell you about it, let's go ahead right now and just fall right into the action. I think you got some BTR on this.
Pay particular attention to Brian Lee toward the end of this.
Jarrett misses. Look, double clothesline. The Detroit Demolition and Mantell going down. Jarrett puts a drop kick on Mantell. Follows Mantell out of the ring. He's got Mantell and Thompson. Mantell's out of it. The Detroit Demolition now got Jarrett. Slams his head right in that steel cage fence. Jarrett comes on, look at Gossett. They're teaming up on Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett now hammers the Detroit Demolition. They're at it, tooth and nail. Oh boy, what a fight right here between Jeff Jarrett and the Detroit. Oh boy, Jeff Jarrett now handcuffed to the cage. The only two guys remaining, Brian Lee and the Detroit Demolition. Stokes Lee right in the gut. He picks Brian Lee up, slams Lee into the ropes, misses with a double fist. Lee counters with a right. Out of the ring on the concrete floor it goes. Oh, look at Lawler. He's got the Demolition. Lawler, Brian Lee, they cut him. They cut him.
here screeching, Brian Lee! Brian Lee! I could still hear it in my head when I was upstairs. I've heard that too, Daniel. I heard he is a well-endowed fella. I've seen some of that stuff, low light, yeah. Got me another brewski. So now they're showing Brian Lee how he turned heel. Took a damn payoff. He always was scummy.
The team of Fuller, the master pain, and F-Bunch.
Well, you saw it. Brian Lee taking the payoff.
I'm going to retire from this business, and I'm going to sit back, baby, and just make money off my CWA territory. I'm going to have her selling broke-down used cars. She'll sell them all day long because, brother, she's hot. There ain't no use of talking about that no further. Let's go ahead and get out the man here. The man of the hour, my newest addition to the stud stable. Brian Lee, bring it on out here, buddy.
See how Brian Lee does as a heel here.
He's looking good, too.
Okay.
What do you think about this, boys?
Brian, we're real disappointed in you, I want to tell you.
Get here. Now, listen, Brian.
Dave's like
$1,000 that Jarrett Lawler spending here.
always playing on the emotions of everyone.
I love it, Daddy, but you know, you're not going to get to spend that $20,000. And the reason you're not, Brian, is because selling the key's just not enough to get it, son. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to show me a mean side of you. You're going to have to show me something inside that can hurt a goof little punk like Jeff Jarrett. You're going to have to be able to put somebody down, Daddy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hold that $20,000 just a little bit longer, and I don't figure it's going to be too long with a man like Demo on my side. Action Jackson, Daddy! And then my man, Brian Lee. Then I'm going to tell you something. Right, one thing you can figure on, that we're going to get that punk, and we're going to get him darn soon, and there ain't no way you're going to get around that I'm going to own what's mine. That boy is not going to have what's mine. Brian Lee, I want you to show me, son. You got a match on this television today.
We got a match here with Brian Lee.
Hurt a man. I want you to show me that if Jeff Jarrett gets in the ring with you, that you can put him down. I want you to get bad. Get bad, because that's what the stable's going to do. We're going to get bad, and we're going to end Jarrett's career, and that's the end of that, Daddy.
I understand you've got somebody else you're bringing in here, too. Is that right?
You know, I was going to kind of hold that as a surprise, but you're not worth a flip at surprises. I'm talking about Dirty White Boy.
Yeah, Dave Brown's just always working on your morals.
Might as well get ready.
We're just mighty disappointed in you, Brian.
He's becoming a backdoor man.
We've been talking about it at the church.
The Tennessee stud, the head of the darndest stable that ever walked the land. We're going to start proving it.
Take a look at the Dirty White Boy right here.
Oh, shit. Some Dirty White Boy coming in. Oh, God. Okay, I got to skip this just in case. But, as you can see, Dirty White Boy's coming in here. Let's go. I do like the Dirty White Boy, at least in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. So this should be interesting.
Hello, everyone. I'm Roger Webb with Championship Wrestling. We would remind you that on May 7th, on a Sunday, we're going to be in Candleton, Indiana. Then coming to Owensboro, Kentucky on Wednesday, April 26th at 8 p.m., Championship Wrestling. Listen to this. We're going to have the former World Tag Team Champions, Pat Tanaka, Paul Diamond, will be in Owensboro. Pat Tanaka will be going against the Dirty White Boy. Paul Diamond versus the Detroit Demolition. Then a big grudge match.
Coming through
Jeff
here.
Jarrett and his partner John Paul in the ring against Brian Lee, Robert Fuller,
The old like ski, if you have not yet, helps us out here at Wrestle Plunge, my friends.
The Master of
Make sure
Pain
you're
with Ronnie
subscribed.
at the fourth at ringside.
And make sure you come every Sunday night at 6.
Big, humongous, and he is big. Don't forget, that's in Owensboro, Kentucky, Wednesday, April 26, 8 p.m. at the Owensboro Sports Center. The big main event, a world heavyweight title match. See you there.
David Elder and the Grappler once before today. This time officially there in the ring. Hear the music, there's the man, Jeff Jarrett. John Paul with him here today. GK, how about the official introduction?
Okay, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are. First, Mr. David Elder from Minneapolis. And his partner,
Oh,
the
nice,
grappler,
Daniel.
from parts unknown at
We've got Jarrett and
427
John
pounds
Paul
against
against
Jeff
Elder
Jarrett
and
John
Grappler.
Paul at 435 total pounds from Hendersonville,
John
Kentucky,
Paul.
and Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Jeff Jarrett starting out
Barbersville,
against David
Kentucky.
Elder.
Not Central Old High School.
Jerry Calhoun, the referee, steps in between them.
I never saw the Dirty White Boy live.
He's back out the middle of the ring now.
A Bad Company, Jamie. That's right.
Former Rookie of the Year in the CWA, and
They're good.
I tell you what,
I saw Tanaka recently on that.
into a super.
Rene Dupree has a YouTube channel where he has a lot of different people on, and Pat Tanaka and Marty Jannetty were on there.
Here's John Paul. John
It was
Paul
real
with a great
fun to
amateur
watch.
wrestling background.
Marty
He
was
holds
being
half
crazy,
of
of
the
course.
CWA tag titles.
They already hit him right in the face. Come on, that's right. Give me that John Paul that I
He
know.
joined us late.
Paul's from Minneapolis, right, Dave?
Yeah, John Paul from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Was he a college wrestler?
Yeah, has some collegiate background and some high school background, as I understand. Look at Jeff. Jeff, of course, fine athlete, great basketball player.
Jeff has different trunks every week.
Out of Hendersonville. That's up in Nashville.
Yeah, up around the Nashville area.
I noticed that you mentioned basketball. I noticed there's a lot of speed. Sometimes speed can overcome weight on the other opponent.
You're exactly right. Jeff has the speed and that agility. He can move in the ring. The grappler runs into his shoulder, and Jeff dumps him over his back. Jeff Jarrett backs to the ropes. Drops down with the upper arm. Goes for the cover. Count one. Oops.
He almost had it.
There's a tag. Good fast action in this one. John Paul steps through the ropes. Use that arm drag to beal him across the ring. Up in the air. A body slam.
John Paul, he's a strong guy, Dave.
Yeah.
He has really got some strength. I see what they're doing, Dave, is John Paul and Jeff, they're tiring out their opponents. They're getting the rest in between.
Exactly. Mark of a good tag team. Tag in and out quickly. Don't stay in there and get tired and get yourself in trouble. A snap suplex by Jeff Jarrett. 1, 2. Nope, only a 2 count. Boy, I thought he had him there.
Boy, Calhoun's got his hands full on this one, Dave. Whoops.
John Paul back in. David Elder off the rope.
I think you're right, Jamie.
Boy, the feet were
An
almost on the
AWA.
lights on that
He
one.
certainly did. He almost got to the center, Dave. He was up there.
John Paul gets a 2 count on him. Over to the corner, the tag on Jeff Jarrett. 2.5 minutes gone in the action. Jeff Jarrett with a right hand to the rib cage.
Yeah, that's obvious, Dave. They're taking a little rest in there and trying to wear down their opponents. And they really got
Beating
it
the
planned
piss out of
well.
this team.
Got a 1, 2.
The makeshift
so
team
close.
of
But
Jarrett
only a
and
2 count for
Paul.
Jeff Jarrett. David Elder still alive. Over to the corner. Elder reaches for the tag and gets it on the grappler.
Any idea, Dave, who the grappler might be? I mean, any indication?
No idea at all. The crowd wants to know. They were just
Not
chanting,
anyone
"Take the mask
good."
off, Take the mask off.
Is that legal, Dave, to pull the mask off?
No, it really isn't.
You have to lose the match. The mask has to be put up, right?
Kind of like ground rules in a baseball game. There are certain things that can be done. If a man's wearing the hood, you're not supposed to take it off, unless that's a stipulation in the match, which of course it is sometimes, but not this one. However, oh, look at that drop.
Getting
kick.
more heel
Quick, Dave.
tactics.
He is so fast.
Not that, the
Count
mask
2. This
thing.
time he's got him. Got the 3 count.
And that's it. Jarrett and Paul picking up the victory. John Paul still getting another extra fist in after the match was
really looking good as
decided.
they get themselves a victory.
What
Let's
the
take a
hell?
special look at the Mason-Dixon connection.
Dave Brown never said shit about that stuff. Okay. All right, they were trying to play this last week. Let me get through this. Oh, yeah, Mason-Dixon connection, baby. John Paul, Tracy Smothers. Tracy, of course, just got
Saw
hurt.
the Mason-Dixon connection, joined today by Jeff Jarrett. Good victory for you guys in there a moment ago.
Well, thank you, Dave. So, Robert Fuller, I'm fixing to talk to you. Now, you came out here and you started up that stuff again about this is your place. Well, Robert, I told you before, you're way out of bounds, and you're not even talking about wrestling. Now, Fuller, I don't need $20,000 to put you out of wrestling, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you, Brian Lee, you're the one. You're the guy that we rode up and down the roads with. We caught ourselves friends. We worked out in the gym. Brian Lee, you sold yourself out for $20,000, and I guarantee you one thing. I'm going to make you pay for it.
That's right, Dave. I'd just like to add this, Brian. We now know. And I'm going to tell you, brother, I'm going to put you on that injury list with Tracy Smothers. There's no doubt to it.
Look out, Brian Lee. We'll be back here in just a moment.
After
Just
Brian
when you
Lee.
think you've seen it all. Cage matches, scaffold matches, snake box matches, and more. Coming in May, one of wrestling's most challenging matches, the Renegade Cyclone Stampede.
Right now, I got a tough
promoting the hell out of
assignment
that.
coming up here today. The
Renegade
Unified World
Cyclone
Heavyweight
Stampede.
Champion is going to be coming out. It is
Who'd
going
tell
to be
exactly?
a non-title match, but the White Knight is going to have to go against the champion. And boy, if he
Yeah,
could come
Jarrett's
away
a
with
heel,
victory today,
I
can
thought
you
did well.
imagine what it would do for his career all of a sudden to be put right in
Jarrett
top
still looks good
contention
today,
for
man. Still
a
works
world
good.
title
All right, here they
match.
come, Dave.
Yeah. Ronnie P. Gossett and the Master
Had a hell of a
Pain
career.
stepping up there. Master of Pain with that world title around his waist.
Buddy, I
he
mean,
just-
I'm not the biggest Jeff Jarrett
big,
fan.
huge boots he's got on. Look like about.
And I
look
don't
like
like Jarrett at
about
all
size
during this
20. I don't know how
period.
big they are.
He looks like a giant.
Okay, Master of Pain is going to
How
just
big is he?
demolish
Well,
White
the
Knight
Master
here,
of Pain
hopefully.
Weighs in at 325
Hopefully.
pounds. Unified
Maybe we'll
World
get a
Champion
Sid
against
squash
the White
also
Knight
and Lord
from parts
Humongous.
unknown at 224 pounds.
Master of Pain wasting no time going after the White Knight. He hit him with a
Current
right
unified
fist, picks him
champion.
up in the air and slams him. Ronnie P. Gossett, his manager from Ronnie Gossett.
Very
International.
shortly
He's
before he goes to
calling his
WCW.
management company now.
And very shortly, about a year and a half before he became The Undertaker, which is crazy to think about.
And Master Payne's got the right name, I guarantee you.
Yeah, true.
Gracie, what's up, man?
Look
Hope
out,
you're doing well,
ring,
dude.
Through the ropes, down on the floor, in a bad place. There's Ronnie P. Gossett. Look at this.
Gossett is hitting him outside the ring, Dave. Of course, Jerry Calhoun, it can't see. He's holding the Master of Pain back.
Yeah, Jerry was trying to let keep the Master of Pain back just to give the White Knight room to get into the ring, but it didn't work out real well for the Master of Pain with Ronnie P. Gossett out there. Wind him up, says Ronnie P. Gossett. Master of Pain stands him up straight up in the air.
And that White Knight is a pretty big guy. 224, Dave.
Boy, you dropped a long
He is
way
a
when
big
the
guy.
Master of Pain drops you down like that.
Gracie, that's hilarious.
Here we go.
Always been doing that jumping lariat.
Master of Pain drops down with a leg. Now goes for the cover.
325 pounds on it.
He got it. Well, the White Knight, as we said, had a tough assignment coming in here, and the hand is raised of the Master of Pain. Time on it, 1:28 seconds. 1:28.
Let me clear something up. I couldn't help but overhear that blowhard Jerry Lawler out here trying to cause dissension among my champion. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to look you straight in the eye, and I don't lie to you. You look in these eyes. You are my champion. We are tighter
Oh,
than
yes!
white on white. Where
My
you go,
champion!
I'll go. Lawler is causing trouble. He can't win the belt any other way, so he's trying to play psychology. But he's out of it. I'm your man. I'm behind you all the way behind you.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
Let me tell you something. You've got a big, big
Dave's like,
man
listen,
coming up this
motherfucker.
week. You have got a man, Lord Humongous. Super strength, superhuman strength. Take a look at some of the
God, they could have Sid and Lord Humongous
Lord Humongous.
teaming together. They have a standoff. Yeah, this cage looks interesting.
We need some kind of order. Absolutely incredible.
So much going on there.
Demolition. Gossett. Killing Lawler. Now, look at Gossett. Work over Lawler. Fuller, the
You're right, Ken. I'm definitely not suggesting that. Paul Bear was the man. Percy Pringle.
Humongous is fired up. Out of the cage goes Sylvian Gossett. Humongous with a chain.
Well, there you saw it. Lord Humongous just rips those handcuffs off, and that's who your champion has to face coming up this week.
Let me tell you something. Lord Humongous is on dope. He's on steroids. He needs to be in a cell, a padded cell. Because
So yeah, we still might get this match. Definitely won't give it on TV. Maybe. Who knows? I've been surprised before. I didn't think we'd get a title change from Jarrett on TV. So.
You understand?
I understand that he spends a lot of his time in
AKA
the gym working out. Spends a very much
a sex freak.
You know why he spends most of his day in the gym? The imbecile can't find the way out the door. He's so stupid.
Well, get on. Yeah, just go on, because the Master of Pain has to face Lord Humongous, and Lord Humongous spends a lot of time in that gym.
Okay, we do get WrestleMania 13.
Ronnie P. Gossett.
What is that? Are they building that for the next big show, though? God, another one I gotta get through? They're doing crazy music videos right now. Well, it's crazy. It's badass. Dude. Sid's the man. I like
Hello, everyone. I'm Roger Webb with Championship Wrestling. With a reminder that we're going to be in Cannleton, Indiana on Sunday, May 7th. Then, coming to Owensboro, Kentucky, Wednesday, April 26th.
I'll go ahead and post the link here. I'll be posting this again. I have a new video I'm calling it Scandals That Killed WWF and WCW 90s Hall of Fame.
Paul Diamond will be going against the Detroit Demolition.
Boom.
Give
that a
against the Dirty White Boy. The big main
if
event,
you don't mind, give it a like ski, give it a comment, whether you like it, whether you don't like it.
The fourth at ringside will be going against the huge Humongous. Then we've got the grudge match. Brian Lee, Robert Fuller with Sylvia against you guys.
That's right, grudge match it's going to be right there in Owensboro. Mr. Lee, I'd like to say something to you. $20,000 you sold your friends out for. Well, that's more than I can say, because I'd never do that to a friend.
Because I don't get paid shit.
I'm not going to forget about the $20,000 bounty on Jeff's head. I'll never let any of my friends down, regardless of the situation. And I can guarantee you, Jeff, I'm not going to let you down.
That's right, Roger. You know, Wednesday night, I've been doing an awful lot of thinking about what's going to happen. And I've done an awful lot of thinking about what's happened over the past couple of weeks. Brian Lee, that night in Memphis, Tennessee, when you sold yourself out for $20,000, and you left that ring, and you gave that key to Sylvia, and them guys got 5 minutes to beat up on us, and it was all because of me. So that means there's an awful lot riding on my shoulders. But Wednesday night in Owensboro, Brian, I get my chance at payback.
Dylan, what's up? Welcome in here.
I told you once not to cross the boundary again. I told you to shut up about this stuff, not to get into personal business, but you hadn't stopped. And I told you never to call my father a thief, and you hadn't stopped doing that either. Well, this Wednesday night, it's going to be double payback time. You, Robert Fuller, and you, Brian Lee,
a couple of rings
myself
here.
and John Paul are coming to do one thing, and that one thing only, and that's to kick your stinking butts right out of Owensboro, and it's going to happen this Wednesday night, and that's a promise. That's right.
Situation coming up here as Brian Lee will be coming in. There he is, accompanied by his new advisor, man who paid him $20,000. But said he
Billy Ray Cyrus will be rocking this pink jacket.
All right, Robert Fuller. This is
around 1992.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Mississippi, Chris
Frazier.
Pounds, going against Brian Lee, 248 pounds from Orlando,
So we got the first heel match by Brian Lee that we've seen. Just last week, he was a part of a face tag team, 6-man.
We really appreciate it.
Okay.
He's going to show you right now in the ring how you
He's turned into just having nails offense from WWF.
Let me settle down here just
These guys were getting paid a lot, Low Light. Jarrett and not even Jarrett. Jarrett's dad probably.
Let me just remind you, that's not Jeff Jarrett.
Jerry Lawler was getting paid okay. Some of the promoters, but yeah, these guys right here were getting paid dog shit. Jobbers were getting paid probably nothing.
You heard your Mason Dixon one
some of the main dudes were getting paid shit.
Come out here talking about.
I don't know.
How
That's my answer. I wish I knew like actual numbers.
He's gonna get his opportunity to get my man in there and try to put him away, and then baby, that's when we go right to the center of the earth. That's when it leaves me and Jeff Jarrett. Heads up, baby. Just me and you, Jarrett. And I don't mind telling you, baby, it's your last chance because I'm gonna end it. This is where he leaves my side of the world, leaves my business.
Just keeps hitting him with lariats
here. His daddy over there owns a little cattle operation, maybe owns a little fencing company or something. something that maybe
It's
he
like,
got
oh,
something
wait,
else
no
he
one
can turn
gives a
to
shit.
when my business turns back to me. And I'm going to be promising
Seems to be
you
always
something,
Brom
that
Tom's
boy's
problem.
going
No one
down.
really gives
when
a
the boy
shit.
goes down, I think old Daddy's just going to withdraw from this business. Let the Tennessee stud have what's his in the first place. My birthrights, baby. I'm talking about CWA, my beloved CWA.
Your birthright was sold, not stolen. It was sold. That's what happened to it. He cleared all that up.
Sylvia told me she thinks he's one of the prettiest things she's ever seen in her life. And you know what? I think this young man right here is a looker myself.
Very, very
and I
bad.
think he's a tough kid. Come on, treat him like that. Put it to him, Daddy.
Now the coaching on the microphone here by Robert.
I'd say a lot of these guys
Tennessee
did,
stud.
low
Chris
lie.
Frazier really getting a beating here from Brian Lee. Remember, Fuller told Brian he couldn't spend the $20,000, not until he beat somebody up bad.
I'd say this jobber did.
So far, you satisfied with
Well,
the way
I'm
he's
very
doing it?
satisfied with him. I'm satisfied with him. I want him to take his time. I want him to slow down in that ring. I want him to know how to punish a man. I want him to feel this business from the inside, baby, like I do, because he's working himself into a position to be a stud stable member, and to be a member, you got to be tough. You got to be there, baby. Anything he's lacking, this boy's going to be picking up real soon. I'm going to ringside, Dave Brown. You're going to have to do this on your own.
Maybe we can handle it, Robert. GK, sorry about that. Slide on back in here.
That's all right. You know, you got to hand it to him. The guy he's talking about, Brian Lee, is one heck of a wrestler.
Well, he is. It's one of those unfortunate things to see a kid with the talent that Brian has and the potential he has, and then to see him get hooked up with somebody like Fuller and and money. You know, the old saying, "Money the root of all evil." Well, I think maybe that applies right here to Brian Lee.
And maybe he'll see the light, Dave. I don't know, but the kid really, he's a fine physical specimen, and looks like he has a tremendous amount of potential to move right on up that wrestling ladder.
Absolutely. Well, here's Fuller back.
You talking about a fired up stable. You start talking $20,000. You think Brian Lee don't get fired up, baby? He's been spending Jerry Lawler's $1,000 all week. This is a money man right here, and I wouldn't doubt one.
God, what a boring ass match, though. What a boring ass squash.
$20,000. Jeff Jerry, you going down, baby. Then we gonna see Daddy get out of my territory and leave it alone, Daddy. Leave it with the stud where it belongs.
Oh shit, Greasy. I don't remember that right off, but I can see it.
Up as I think you
trying to, get a little extra cash.
Been following that situation. Look at that, Sylvia beating up on Chris Frazier.
Oh, jeez, she's beating the piss out of this guy that's not getting paid dog shit. But she did more interesting. Something more interesting than Primetime's done this entire time.
You better clear it out, boys.
Oh, look
you
out.
better clear it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over the announce table.
Frazier thrown. Come on, Robert, leave him alone. Heaven's sakes.
It's our main event. We still got about 6-7 minutes left here.
Chris Frazier. Come on, Robert, this is not your match. He picks him up, throws him back in the
Dave, it's
ring.
getting out of hand over here.
Yeah, well, Fuller in the stud stable.
Really
Back to the nails offense.
These guys are really...
He's choking.
They're not only breaking
When in
rules,
doubt.
they have no rules to break. They have
They're going to DQ him.
Yeah, they don't abide by too many of the rules at all.
Yeah.
Brian
This might be the
Lee.
most boring squash I've seen since we've started this.
He is. He is not even
8 weeks ago.
I bet you he's whining right now because he sees right there what his boy's got to deal with. His boy's got big
Cops come to
problems.
arrest. He just came out of the back.
$20,000.
He's coming to arrest him for being so
Brian Lee's
boring.
about twice his size. I'm 4 times his size.
The DJ said nothing, right? Tapester said nothing.
Coming to see me for your money, Daddy, because I'm gonna be your boss. My beloved
Same
CWA
Greasy.
is coming right
They
back
did have
to
a
you.
ring apron of
Don't
advertising
count
something,
Jeff
but it
Jarrett and
disappeared
John Paul out
fairly
of it, let me
quickly.
tell you. You said one
The
thing
DJ
that's
said
right.
nothing.
You're bigger than they are.
They introduced him, and he just has been like, every time they went over there, he's still chilling, like he's still rocking that chair, but he said nothing.
Really unmerciful.
Maybe he's gone though now. Maybe he left pretty early. That's why we're hearing a lot of the wrestlers come in. Like Dutch was there for a minute, and now we got Rob Fuller.
Yeah, they just won't do it. They want to punish.
But if they go back and he's still just chilling there,
What a sad moment. Tracy
I'm just in,
Smothers,
like, shock.
All the friends he has out here, baby. They're
This
doing
match is
without
dog
because
shit,
Tracy
Greasy.
Smothers ain't around here no more. Now you got your little John Paul. Go ahead and take Jeff Jarrett.
It's true,
See
kid.
what it gets you, John Paul. What it
Dear
gonna get
God,
you.
pin this
It's gonna get you
man.
a little piece of Brian Lee, my money man. And I'm gonna guarantee you one thing. Pair off with him. Get in there.
Didn't see Scott Steiner this week. Is Scott Steiner already? Last time I was just talking about the possibility of Scott Steiner already be gone to WCW. He showed back up, so actually showed back up under a mask, and then disappeared again.
They used to ride up and down the road with Brian Lee.
Memphis is very unpredictable in '89, probably always, but what we're watching is
went for the $1,000, went for the $20,000.
interesting.
And now he's hooked up with
in the match, yes.
He has to take direction from Fuller. He looks like he's not making any decisions on his own.
No.
And he really is not getting any good direction. I mean,
it's like my forearm may be broken from the kendo stick.
And if he had to look for signals from outside the ring, he'd be in trouble. So he's not doing a lot of his own thinking today.
He is definitely looking
this is ridiculous.
As part of it, he
fall away slam.
And, he doesn't want to pin him too early so that he can start spending that $20,000 that Sylvia gave him.
Looks like he's just trying to make a name for himself here. He is. Here, what? Oh, Dave! Wow, that was a tough one.
Got that knee to the midsection.
I hope they're paying that boy good.
What is happening?
Earning it, baby. Take him, Brian. Let me ask
you
something.
Good Lord.
Is he done? Is he done?
Good Lord.
Is he done? Give him some more. Give him some more. Get that referee back out of the way. Give him some more. C-A-R-R-E-T-T, baby. Working. Making yours, Brian. Making yours.
Come on, Fuller, the match is over. Here comes
Jarrett said he's seen enough.
Brian Lee. And there goes Fuller in to help Brian Lee out. Here comes Action Jackson in. Oh, the stud.
301. Gonna get him.
Here comes John Paul. John Paul and Jeff Jarrett battled them 2 against 3.
Ended hot though. Demolition. Detroit Demolition getting into the ring.
Yeah, the Detroit Demolition jumped in there. Now you got the whole stud stable.
Did nothing.
John Paul made their point and slide
stud stable. Where's Dutch?
Yeah, I think Mr. Fuller has got a demonstration right there that it's not going to be the same when they're in there against Jeff Jarrett and John Paul. We'll check our time and we'll be back with you.
We'll be right back.
Just when you think you've seen it all. Cage matches, scaffold matches, snake box matches, and more.
What's coming in May?
Coming in
Keep
May,
teasing it.
One of wrestling's most challenging matches. The Renegade Cyclone Stampede.
Did you stop? George, I tell you, I've seen about all the stud stable I want to see.
He's still there. No, he said nothing that entire time. This dude said nothing. Zero. Zilch. I may be crazy.
Around here.
You got that right there. Those guys, they're tough.
They are indeed. Jerry Lawler out here, the king, in the opening match of the day.
Wow. He sort of looks like Gene Wilder. Am I crazy?
A distraction having Ronnie P. Gossett and a couple of his guys from Ronnie Gossett.
Like an alternate universe Gene Wilder?
Studio. Lawler still beat Keith Eric handily and then took on all of Gossett's guys, including the Master of Pain, and got the upper hand there. Yeah. Detroit Demolition defeated Jed Grundy. Detroit Demolition, the newest member, of course, of the stud stable. He's big. He is.
He comes on strong.
And he got the win today over
15 pounds. Wow.
Over Jed Grundy. Jeff Jarrett, John Paul. Tracy Smothers, of course, hurt, as we announced in a match in Nashville. And John Paul has teamed up with Jeff Jarrett. They look mighty, mighty good today, defeating David Elder and the Grappler. Then it was the Master of Pain. This big guy holds the World Unified title.
They need Lance back. Old Lance Russell went to make some WCW paychecks. Can't blame him. But he will be back very soon. He didn't last in WCW for maybe not even a year.
About 225 pounds, but still. Master of Pain gets the win. And then Brian Lee defeating Chris Frazier, and as we said, he could have wrapped it up earlier, but...
He carried the match. He wanted to punish him.
He just wanted to impress Robert Fuller is all he wanted to do. But Brian Lee does, in fact, get the victory over Chris Frazier, and the time on it was 7 minutes, 20 seconds. It was another
it felt like an eternity.
Days, the CWA Championship.
7 minutes?
See that again.
George Kleins, thanks very much for being with us.
Hey, I guess we won't see each other ever again.
This is a legendary show.
Well, it is indeed. We're glad you were a part of it today.
It's like it's a legendary show.
Next week, when CWA Championship Wrestling will be back, more of the roughest, toughest action you'll find anywhere.
Well, guys, please go and check out my new video. It's in the video section. I'm going to link it to you in the chat right now. If you could go check that out, that would be absolutely amazing. Please go give it a watch. Next week, we will be going into episodes April 29th 89 and May 13th, 89. And I feel like a week is missing there. I don't know if they didn't do it or if it's missing from this catalog, but that is what we are looking at right now. Again, I appreciate everyone for coming through here tonight. It's been a killer show. It's been really good. A lot of new faces came through. Please make sure you're subbed up. Please hit the like if you can. Leave a comment. And go check out that new video. The new video is on the 90s Hall of Fames between WCW and WWF. There's a little bit of scandalous stuff that I found between those years from 93 to 1996. Go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, come back here next week and check out more CWA 6 Eastern every Sunday night. Have a great week. Thank you, guys. Let's go. Oh, wrong one.